Alright man, so what is up guys, Airball here, and I am back with another video, and this is going to be a video on the best stretch big build on NBA 2K26, so we're not going to waste any time, let's get straight into the video. So hand this and jersey number obviously doesn't really matter, we're just going to continue, but starting off with the position, we obviously want to go center, and the height is going to be 7'4". Alright, 7'4"s are absolutely broken this year. If you played the game at all, you know that 7'4"s can just shoot over people, like no matter what the contest is. I played against multiple 7'4"s on my 6'9" that has a 93 block rating, and the highest contest I could get while jumping perfectly in their face, like dang near slapping them, falling to the ground, I could only get like a 25% contest, and they could still green it without even greening the timing for the tempo. So that just shows you how broken 7'4"s are, and you really need tall builds to be able to contest the shots this year. So that's why we're going with 7'4". The weight is going to be all the way down, just so we get the best possible speed, and then we're going to go with obviously minimum wingspan, so we get the best shooting stats, and we get the ability to shoot over people. We get 89 3 ball for silver limitless, things like that. That'll just make this build absolutely broken. You also get 90 mid range, so if you wanted to, you could put on, well, you will get Hall of Fame post fade phenom. If you decide to use that badge though, that's completely up to you. But starting off with the finishing here, we're going to go with an 87 on the close shot. So 87, it gets you hook specialist on gold, which is pretty solid, but honestly, if you wanted to, you could use 5 cap breakers on this to get to 92, because you'll be able to get 2 badges with this. You're able to get paint prodigy on gold, and then you're able to get Hall of Fame float game. Floaters are pretty broken this year, so maybe if you wanted to do that, you could. This at least gives you the option to do that if you wanted to, and also gives you a badge at the same time. Driving dunk will be 55, nothing too crazy there. Standing dunk though is going to be a 90, so that way we get rise up on gold. And also a good thing about having this build at super low weight is that you get a pretty high vertical. You get, what is it, 73? We're gonna have 70, but you get the ability to get elite big man contacts with this build, so that's gonna be very solid. You also get gold rise up, which will help out with dunking under the rim, and you're 7'4", so you should be able to dunk over a lot of people, especially if you know how to time that standing dunk meter. Post control is going to be 87, so we get silver unpluckable, also with gold post up poet. That's going to be pretty nice. Post control on this build is surprisingly a cheap attribute. Like, if you make this build and you look at the cap breakers, you can put +2 all the way until you get 95. So you can get 4 cap breakers and put them on post control. You get 95 post control, and that way you can get Hall of Fame post up poet if you wanted to, which honestly I think is pretty crazy. Like, this +2s and it's an 87 stat. That's pretty rare, but I guess that just shows how cheap it is. The shooting, alright, we're going to have a 90 on the mid-range, and you guys might be surprised about this, but the three-pointer is going to be low to start out with. It'll be a 66. Now, you got to listen to me on this. We're going to put 5 cap breakers to get this from 66 all the way up to 89, and yes, this is possible. If you make this exact build and you have a 66 3-ball with a 90 mid-range, you could use 5 cap breakers to get from 66 to 89, okay? So that's what we're going to do with this build. It's like, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty expensive in the builder, but you can use cap breakers to get it up. So, and like basically at the same rate you could with other attributes. So it's actually pretty beneficial, especially if you're gonna specialize in shooting and you need to use shooting cap breakers. You can use 2 of them on this and then use 3 regular cap breakers on it as well. The free throw is going to be a 73, so that's pretty solid. The pass accuracy will be all the way up to an 87, so that way if you wanted to play 5v5 like rec or pro-am or whatever, then you could use gold break starter. You also get gold versatile visionary as well as gold dimer, so pretty solid in terms of the playmaking. You want to have that high pass accuracy because you want to have that break starter, and I mean you just want to be able to throw pretty good passes down the court. I wouldn't say use a max +2 on it, but if you wanted to, you definitely could. In my opinion, I'd probably use max +2 and rebound chaser, just because your rebounding is a little bit low for this kind of build. It's only 85. So I would get that up to Hall of Fame rebound chaser, but that's besides the point. I would go 87 just so we get the break starter, and then the dimer is also solid, even though dimer's not really too crazy to the badge this year because you don't really need it too much considering that everybody and their mama can shoot 80% from 3. But moving on to the defense, the interior is going to be 82 just so we get post lockdown on silver. Perimeter is also going to be a 62. Now this is actually pretty nice because we will be able to get a movable enforcer on bronze. You guys see, if I upgrade the strength a little bit, we get a movable enforcer on bronze, and we do have to go pretty lightweight to be able to get that badge, and that just helps out with when you're guarding people who are trying to rim run you, especially with being kind of slow because you're 7'4". If people are trying to rim run you, you can use that badge. You can potentially max +2 it because it's a tier 2. And yeah, I mean, you could get that up to gold if you wanted to. So just having the option to get that badge, I think, is pretty solid. It'll help you with guarding rim runs and other people, and things like that, and other bigs too. Steal is going to be 53. Nothing too crazy. We just it's kind of cheap, so might as well just put it on there. Block is going to be a 93. So 93 block, we get the ability to get gold paint patroller, which we can max +2 to legend if we choose to do. And let me just look at the block. So you still do get 99 block if you wanted to. So I guess you could get a legend paint patroller off rip with this. I wouldn't advise doing that though, because I personally think it's way too many attributes, and you can just max +2 it anyway. So there's not really a point of getting legend paint patroller off rip. But that's just my opinion. Rebounding, we're gonna go 85 and then 80. So that way we need the 80 O board just to get Crasher Takeover. We want the option to get that because it'll help out with getting box outs, and also it'll help out with setting screens. So if you want to set screens and you pick and pop, things like that, then you can use that takeover. So that's what I would go with. For the speed, we're gonna have a just maxed out 62. We're gonna have 47 agility, which isn't the greatest, no, but you are 7'4". And this is the lowest weight you can be on a 7'4", so this is the fastest you're going to be no matter what. So you might as well, just get used to it. If you get a good motion style, maybe it could be better, but we're just going to have to wait and see. The strength is going to be an 80. Like I said before, we want that Crasher Takeover in case, we wanted to set screens, or if we wanted to get better box outs and things like that. So you need 80 strength, 80, and then 80 on both the rebounds. So that's what I'm going to go with. 80 strength is, pretty solid. You're not, like, super weak, but, you get, like, decent enough badges. Like, you get silver post block, which I guess is okay. We get silver post powerhouse. But we are pretty lightweight, so 80 strength is honestly pretty good for being super lightweight. And then vertical is going to be a 70, which, like I said before, gives us the ability to get the elite big man contact dunks, which is going to be very, very nice on this build. But this is what the build is looking like. Honestly, it's really, really good. And because, the rebounding is kind of low, it gives kind of a light to the other attributes because, the rebounding is so low. It's a really expensive attribute. So all the other attributes are going to be really good too. So we got a lot of stats, in the high 80s and things like that, like the close shot, standing dunk, post control. We got pass accuracy. We got a lot of stats that are really, really high. And also another part about this build that I like is that it has no weaknesses, according to the builder at least. So it's going to be called a Rim Reaping Mid-Post Maestro. Shades of Vlade, David Robinson, and Victor. And obviously we got, pretty good attributes there. A block, A standing dunk, A mid-range. We're a good shot blocker, good mid-range bucket getter, good standing dunks, and also we're pretty good in the post. And we're called a Rim Reaping Mid-Post Maestro, which I think is a pretty fire name as well. But that's going to do it for the video. If you guys liked it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I post every single day on this channel, so make sure to stay tuned for daily uploads. And yeah, this is Airball. Peace.